Welcome to my presentation on understanding the Fair Information Practice Principles, FIPPs, in data privacy and protection. I am John Agumba, an MSc student. Now, what is FIPPs? Fair Information Practice Principles are internationally recognized privacy guidelines, and their purpose is to guide the collection, use, protection, and of personal information. And their origin is outlined by the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare in 1973. Now, FIPPs provide ethical and operational foundation for how to organize, handle personal data, personal information responsibly, ensuring accountability and respect for individual rights. Now, the role of FIPPs in cybersecurity is basically for transparency. It ensures transparency, data minimization, securing or security safeguards, accountability, and individual participation. Now, transparency means individuals should know what data is collected, why it's needed, and how it will be used. And therefore, it clearly informs individuals about data collection and its purpose. And this provide accessible privacy notices. So the federal agencies, for example, publish privacy impact assessment to uphold this principle. Individual participation. This actually allows people to view and correct their personal data, reducing inaccuracies and strengthening data quality. So individuals have a right to know if personal data is being collected, have a right to access their data, a right to request corrections or deletions of inaccurate or incomplete information, and they also have a right to challenge data collection or use practices. And this empowers actually the user control. Purpose specification. This ensures that the purpose of the data collection is explicit, legitimate, and clearly communicated to the individuals. So data should only be used for this intended purpose, and any new use of the data requires additional notice or consent from the individual. This prevents misuse beyond the original intent. Data minimization. This actually limits data by limiting data collection to what is strictly necessary. Organizations minimize their attack surface and potential liability in case of breaches. And the principle actually reduces risk exposure, limit personal data collection to what is strictly required, avoid retaining data for longer than necessary, and regularly review and securely delete unnecessary data. Use limitation. Use limitation means adhering to the consent boundaries. Therefore, the organization needs to prevent unauthorized secondary uses, ensure that data is used only for its stated and legitimate purpose, obtain consent for any secondary data use, and protect against unauthorized access, disclosure, or modification. Data quality and integrity. Organization must ensure that personal data is accurate, complete, and up-to-date to fulfill the intended purpose effectively. So they need to verify the data accuracy before use or disclosure, provide mechanisms for individuals to correct inaccuracies, and then protect data from unauthorized alteration or corruption. Security. Organization must implement reasonable administrative, technical, and physical safeguards to protect personal data from unauthorized access, disclosure, modification, or destruction. And this because security underpins every other principle. And federal agencies often employ layered defense such as multi-factor authentication and encryption to protect breaches. Accountability. Organizations are responsible for adhering to FIPPs principles and must be able to demonstrate compliance through policies, procedures, and audits. Accountability ensures that privacy isn't just a policy, but a practice. And regular audits is necessary to verify compliance. Yes. And then lastly, audit. It involves reviewing systems and processes to confirm compliance, detect weaknesses, and strengthen privacy management. And therefore, organizations must conduct periodic internal and external audits of data systems, identify gaps or risks in data handling and security controls, and provide actionable recommendations for improvement. Now, while General Data Protection Regulation GDPR and California Consumer Privacy Act CCPA are legal frameworks, FIPPs serve as guiding principles. But they share common goals such as transparency, fairness, accountability. And note that GDPR enforces these through legal penalties for any breach. And here we compare now the FIPPs, GDPR, and CCPA in terms of the core focus, jurisdiction, and overlap. For example, FIPPs, the jurisdiction is only the US, while GDPR is EU-wide, and CCPA is based in California state. Now, how is FIPPs applied in practice. In the US, the Department of Homeland Security, they publish a privacy impact assessment, maintain access requests, and conduct audits. So this agency, DHS, operationalized FIPPs through policies such as privacy impact assessment and internal audit to ensure that data is collected and stored lawfully. Now, how do we protect personally identifiable information? FIPPs actually supports PII protection by ensuring that only authorized individuals can access or process sensitive data and promotes responsible digital behavior. And they do this by use of encryption and anonymization, implementation of strict access control, and also training the staff for privacy awareness. And in conclusion, the FIPPs are timeless guidelines that help balance innovation with privacy, and they remain the backbone of data privacy frameworks. They promote transparency, accountability, and trust, and they are essential for compliance and ethical cybersecurity practice. When applied effectively, they ensure compliance, strengthen trust, and uphold data protection standards. That marks the end of my presentation, and thank you.